Okay, so I'm calling the meeting to order at 3:31. So let's go around the table and tell everybody, our thousands of viewers, who you are, so we take the roll call.
Jim DeMark.
Autumn Howard. Nancy Patel.
Isabel Negro.
Jim Long.
Terry Gaffney. And on the computer, we have Rob Hulick.
Hi, Rob.
All righty.
So that's a quorum.
Yes, we do have a quorum. All right, so as the chair has misplaced the minutes, we're going to put them in abeyance.
Will now be recorded.
Okay, now that we're being officially recorded. The chairman has, the cat ate the minutes, so until I find my cat, we'll have to worry about the minutes for next month. Chairman's report, very interesting. I don't know how many people have heard about the wall that heals. It is a 3/4 scale replica model of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C. And it travels around the country, and the host city from June 2nd to June 5th will be Norwalk.
June 2nd.
June 2nd to June 5th. Now, I did not write down the park that it's in, but there'll be plenty of time to get that information out. The wall is 300, this is the replica. It's 375 feet long and 7.5 feet high at its tallest point, shaped like a chevron, just like the wall in DC, with the apex at the center. It will have all 58,000 plus names, and just like in DC, the names are listed by date of casualty, starting with the first casualty, which will be the center panel on the right-hand wall going towards the right, and then picking up again on the west wing, coming back to the center so that the first and the last casualties will be side by side. And here's Lucy.
Hello, sorry I'm late.
So I was just telling people, you probably do know about it, the wall that heals. Okay, it's the Vietnam Veteran Memorial Replica Wall that travels around the country. It'll be in Norwalk, June 2nd to June 5th. So we're going to be pushing that, even though it's not Darien, as we get closer to Memorial Day. Speaking of Memorial Day, the wheels have started turning. The Department of Health will be, I'm sure, giving us the okay. We still have that formality due to COVID. The application has been put in at Goodwife Shopping Center for use of the parking lot. And as always, the person who runs the town, Linda O'Leary and Karen Dunn, have put in the request for the flyover from the Air National Guard. So those are always the very first things that must be done. Okay, so they're all taken care of. And the next thing that needs to be taken care of for Memorial Day is the Grand Marshal. Now, we do have the names of 8 individuals, each of whom I believe is certainly worthy of consideration and the honor. Again, the Grand Marshal is always a veteran. Does not necessarily have to be a combat veteran, but that obviously does count for a lot of points. As mentioned in previous meetings, we tend to hew towards those who have fought in or served in earlier times wherever possible. So looking at our applicants today, we have one peacetime server who served shortly after the Korean conflict ended. He served in Korea for a couple of years. We've got several combat veterans from Vietnam this year. We've got combat veterans from both Desert Storm and Enduring Freedom. I hate using the official names. Afghanistan and Iraq. Makes it a lot easier. And we also have several peacetime service members as well. It's a great-looking group. And as I said, we don't mention, does everybody have a copy of it? Okay. We mention the applicants by number, not by name. Is there anything that anybody wants to say about any one of the individuals listed?
Number 4 is Korea. I like him.
Well, as I said, we like to go
Yeah, the others.
older
seem to be-
first.
Yeah, the others seem to be Vietnam and more recent.
Mhm.
He seems like he's the earliest.
He didn't
Right.
serve in
He is.
combat, though.
But he's not a combat
Right.
veteran.
He served in Korea.
Right,
Didn't
but,
serve in the war.
Yeah, the war ended.
right. But
He
so
was there
again,
from
that's,
54 to 57.
that's where each one of us has to weigh that individually, because they're both considerations. Combat experience is one piece that you want to consider. How long ago they served is also another piece to consider, as is their civic service to the town. So there was one other applicant who had a sterling military record, but had no service to the town. So I did not include his name on this list.
Number
So-
4's also been in town since '62.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think everybody on this list is deserving, but we can only take one. So typically what we do, if, does anybody talk about any of the candidates at all?
You know, I can talk about, actually, all.
A number.
5, 6, and 7. We can talk about what he, you know, in the Marines, he was a helicopter pilot, shot down a couple of times, bad back as a result of it. And
This is number 5?
yeah, and he's, you know, he's been in town for years, 45 years. He coached in town. What I found out about these guys, and I know them pretty well, the number 5 and number 6, is they're really very humble guys. They're not really interested in being a Grand Marshal. And I found that with a lot of the other vets that I talked to that were equally as qualified, but they didn't want any part of it.
Yeah, people turned us down, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, people like
yeah, right.
Jim Long
Yeah.
last year who refused. I can use your name because you're not a number here.
Oh, okay, all right.
You're not a number.
And you know, if you look at number 6, I mean, this guy is, I mean, if you take a look at what he,
Right, see, when I compare 5 and 6,
Mm-hmm.
now you just told me something about 5 that's not in the record, but 6, his military service
Yeah, look
looks
at the-
stronger, but his civic service is not as strong as number 5.
And all the
Right.
commendations he's gotten.
Yes.
Right.
Flying Cross, Bronze Star.
So again, that's where, how do you weigh?
But 5 was wounded, right? I mean, he was
shot
hurt,
down,
shot
yeah,
down.
but that's not in there, you know, I don't know whether he'd want anybody to know about that. Listen, number 7 is a good guy. It's really interesting what he said to me. He said, Jim, I'm really not deserving of this. I really didn't fire a shot. I was responsible for transportation from the port to some of the mountains, so, you know.
Number 5?
No, this is number 7.
Oh, okay. And he was on the Board of Finance?
Yes, he is on the Board of
Currently,
Oh,
Finance.
he's still, okay.
Yep. And he's done a lot of good things in town, too. You know, you can take a look at that.
So, here's what we're gonna do.
You can flip the coin.
We're gonna take a
That'll
vote?
be easier.
Yep.
How did the online people?
I'm going to
Give me the
ask
number.
Rob
Just ask
to
them.
turn his camera on and just give me
Put a
a,
sign?
They
The number.
Yeah.
can write in the chat.
yeah, that's true. Let me put the chat on. Here, everybody take a slip and write a number on it.
Only one?
Between what
Okay.
numbers?
But in town hall, Rob, it's a very slow network connection, so I'm not seeing you.
That's it?
So let
So
me,
what numbers they
You
considering?
you need a name on this?
Yeah.
Or my
No,
a
name?
number.
Oh, just a number, okay.
Whatever the
I think I
numbers
would pick this one.
Jerry, I'll turn my chat on, put it right to you.
okay.
Do you want me to collect them?
No, I want you to just fold it up and throw it down.
It's so hard, isn't it?
Just-
Yep.
Yeah.
Print, and I don't know any
Can
of
you
them.
slide mine down a little farther? I thought it would go farther than that.
Well, you had to talk to them all, didn't you?
Yeah,
You talked to all these people.
yes.
You had better luck than I did.
Oh, these,
You know,
oh,
I-
absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
I went to the VFW to talk to people there, and the VFW is closed.
Maybe they just
That's a
open
whole nother
weekends.
story.
No, Eric Yost had told me that they closed because of COVID, so I
Are they still
imagine they will
collecting
reopen.
flags
but-
there?
Pardon me?
Yes.
But, so someone is still collecting
Yep.
flags. I wouldn't want that to, get over full. I've been collecting flags. I think I have 5 of them sitting around the house. So if that's open, that's where I'm going.
Well, I went to both doors, the front and the back. They were locked up
Locked.
2,
tight.
4, 6, 3, 6.
There should be 7, no? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
3, 6, 7. Okay, I will be happy to show all these to our secretary.
Oh,
And the internet vote is for that number.
oh. I thought you'd...
You thought for the voting card right now?
No, I thought that he gave me them all at once. Boy, we're all over the lot, huh? So we can have a runoff?
No,
Okay.
the internet vote is for the same person that I handed you the first batch on.
Oh, okay. So it is number 7.
It is number 7. Okay, so, James, I'm going to put you in charge of notifying number 7.
Okay.
Now,
He's not going to turn us down now, right?
I don't know. Not enthusiastic.
Oh,
Who got the second most votes?
Well, there's
tie.
tie.
Oh, they're tied.
So maybe we should do a runoff for that then.
Oh, what,
If he
7
says
and
no.
5?
If he says no,
Okay.
So,
let me do it. You'll circle one of the 2 numbers.
And is this between all the other 6 people?
No, it's between,
the other, there's, other people had 2 and one person had 1.
right.
So this is going to be a toss-up, a choice?
This is going to be, you're going to circle one of 2 numbers and hand it back.
oh, just keep putting the numbers.
Jerry, can you give me the 2 numbers that
Yeah.
we're assigning between?
I will.
Okay.
Take one and deal them on.
All right.
laminates. Pass them back. Take them.
Thanks. Did you say 7?
7 is the one who got the most votes.
Yeah.
Numbers 4 and 5.
Ah!
Oh, I didn't realize.
I didn't say a
Yeah,
number.
okay,
I
that's
used their
true.
number.
That's true.
Oh, okay.
Those guys, you gotta select one of those two.
All right, okay, I didn't
These
realize.
are the run-ups.
Here you go.
Okay.
That's the runoff.
All right, got it.
Thank you.
Oh, of course.
We have everybody down, okay.
Oh, you're supposed to.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I know that.
Here it comes.
See, that's the thing, if there was an age on here, that would
There you go, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's all.
do. Right, can I have my back?
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Change your
How do
mind,
you know-
huh?
How do you know which one's yours?
Rob, I didn't get your answer.
I'm sorry, what are the two?
Do it.
sides?
You want
It's,
me-
it's 4 and 5.
It doesn't matter, it's like,
It's not pretty. It's okay.
Scribble, scribble, scrabble.
That's yours.
So in the event that number 7 says no, who do we have?
We got a majority there, even before Rob's vote comes in.
Okay. Number 4 would be the next.
Correct. Okay, so,
If,
Done.
Number 7 says no,
Right.
let me know and I'll get in touch with
Okay.
number 4.
All right.
okay. Lucy, I didn't see, did you see my last email?
I did.
And?
For this year,
Yeah.
what do keynote speakers talk about?
Okay, so since she sort of answered the question, but she's like the most popular girl in high school. She didn't say yes or no, she said maybe. I asked her if she was comfortable with me putting her name up as keynote speaker for Memorial Day. As we've said many times, it is not required that the keynote speaker be a military veteran, but it's someone who speaks to the heart of Memorial Day and service. And I've watched you now with the one egregious error of forgetting to introduce yourself. You do a wonderful job at public speaking about service. And I think for everything that you've been doing for this commission and for town, I think you would make a great speaker. And you don't seem to have stage fright when you have an audience of 45. So would you have stage fright with an audience of 300?
No, my speaking only gets better when the audience grows.
Right.
Okay.
I like it. Positivity, I like that.
So
Well-
is that a yes?
Well, again, this will be a vote also.
Oh,
I have not spoken to anybody else, but if we have a vote of acclamation, then we don't have to look for another keynote speaker. So if
Good,
you would
let's
like
do
to
that.
change your maybe to, yeah, baby.
Sure.
Good.
Nice.
So I
All in
would,
Wow.
okay. So.
Love you.
I'll get to work on it right now.
It's agreed. So we have our keynote speaker is Middlesex middle school teacher Lucy Berry, who, for our thousands of audience members watching on TV, Lucy has, first of all, she is the one who started the Wartime Veteran Street Sign Program. She has been my go-to person for a number of years with the Memorial Day essay and poetry contest until we had to
The internet.
halt it based upon
submissions.
that they don't teach a lot of kids about plagiarism. So they think it's okay to Google something and then write it in there as their own,
We
so.
teach a lot of good research skills, but
Yes.
they were using it.
Yeah. So sadly, we've had to 86 that one. So good. So we have our Grand Marshal A and our Grand Marshal B. And we have our keynote speaker. So we've got the important things done for Memorial Day.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Are you volunteering? I mean, you're gonna continue doing this, and
I will
when you leave
continue to
next
be the
year,
chair.
you'll continue doing this?
I'm not saying
Servitude
anything
is
about
very
next
good.
year. Not saying anything about next year. Service versus servitude. Be careful with your grammar.
I knew what I was saying, but I thought you enjoy it, you should continue doing it.
It's like
You
a
do a great
toothache.
job.
It's like a toothache. When it's gone, you forget all about it. Okay, so yeah. So we're all set then for Memorial Day. I still am looking for someone to staple themselves to me this year so that you get ready for next year. So,
Yes, we all look
Get
at
out
each
the
other.
stapler.
it's less work than listening to your spouse and your children about college applications. It's a lot less work than that. And you don't have to make road trips.
Thank God that's-
Sort of like when you went to college, Jim. You had the book, right? You had the book.
Yep.
That's it. Okay, so nothing else of note for Memorial Day at the moment. The Wartime Veteran Street Sign Program. We need to have a subcommittee meeting next week. We've got several applications in, and we need to get rolling if we're going to pick one for May. So next week, these meetings, they can be live and/or Google. They don't have to be in town hall. It's not a public meeting. It's a subcommittee. So it's just a question of getting together. And since Scott Vanderhayden is the one who has the key and opens up the bar at the VFW and is on the commission, on the subcommittee, I should say, I think the VFW hall would be a perfect place to have that meeting.
Maybe it should just be a bigger meeting. I feel like we all should do this. We can all help.
Well, listen,
Anyone
anybody who's on this commission can come into any subcommittee
There you go.
meeting.
And if
Yeah.
if you entice it, and that's enticing.
I'm not saying
Throw it
I'm
out
picking
there.
up the bar tab.
What day are we gonna do that? Tuesday the 15th?
Well, what day works best for you, since you're the cog?
I can come that day, I don't see anything on my calendar.
And you're thinking, what, 5-ish? 4?
Is that when that building opens?
Well, I have to, it's when, Scott actually uses it as his office away from the
So we
office a
can go
lot.
in, Yeah. I would prefer, closer to this end of the school day like this, 3:30.
Okay. So let's tentatively set it up for 3:30, Tuesday the 15th. I will get a hold of Scott. In fact,
I'm flexible on the time, so if
Yeah.
that doesn't work with his work schedule or anything else, I can make it 5.
let me just send him a text.
I will be there pending the birth of my granddaughter.
Oh, congratulations.
Exciting.
And this will be at the
Anytime.
VFW.
Don't know where she's gonna, when
Scott.
she's coming,
Where
but
does she
yeah.
live?
No,
Oh, great.
but I'm getting her older sister who's 2.5, the wild
Oh,
child, so
my
she's,
God.
she'll be staying with me.
Busy,
Wow.
And I can't bring her to the VFW with
Take
me.
your vitamins
Yeah,
now.
I know, really. So if she's here or not here, it all depends.
But this will be for the May,
Yes, to announce a recipient of the.
and when do we do it, though?
We normally do it the week before,
In the-
some families elect for the Sunday of Memorial Day weekend.
Okay.
And some families are like, you know what, we love this honor, but we already all have plans, can we do it the week before? And
Okay.
as long as we get it going and get the street signs made and the publicity out, that's fine.
Okay.
And you do it once a year at that?
No, we do it
So
twice a
you've done
year,
it-
we do it
yeah.
on, for Veterans Weekend,
Okay.
Veterans Day.
I
and
was like, I
Memorial
feel like
Day.
I remember something just happened.
Yeah,
This will
November.
be the 6th time we've given a no. It is, it's very
All right,
And
so we'll see.
I don't actually think that the meeting will take that long because I'll be presenting a couple of different applications and I don't think it'll take so long.
Yeah. Okay. Next, cemetery. It looks beautiful. My dog loves it.
Is Rob there?
Rob's here.
He's got something to.
All right, Rob, you're up, brother.
Yeah, well, thank you. From an ongoing basis perspective, to your commentary, we have made it through, the season now upcoming into the spring clean with all of the cemetery upkeep work done within the budget that was outlined. So that's good news. On the big project that we continue to talk about, we received a proposal from Jonathan Appel from Atlas Preservation. After numerous tours of a couple of the different cemeteries, with a particular focus on the Loren River Cemetery. Proposed a project in 3 phases. That would be the full kind of rehabilitation of the stones, the ground, and the landscape for that cemetery. Total is around $160,000 for the 3 phases, which there would be ongoing maintenance for years afterwards. We are currently talking with different public and private pockets of money that might want to support the project. And that dialogue is currently ongoing with a number of different foundations in town, along with the selectmen's office.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something we're trying to just build a budget at this point. We have the fully scoped project, and more to come in the coming months here as we sound out those different pockets of financing.
And what was the number?
All right, so I want to repeat, Rob, and stop me and correct me if I misspeak, but I want to repeat it so that people who are watching on TV can understand.
Sure.
Rob has been working hard with a group that specializes in rehabbing cemeteries, and the process will be a three-tier process. The first thing is to rehabilitate the stones that are broken, cracked, where the writing has become illegible. Then to work on the ground itself, because a lot of these burial sites over time, everything gets lifted and pushed and things are not where they're supposed to be. And the third would be to finish off with the landscaping. The total cost, this would be for Norotan River Cemetery. Total cost would be approximately $160,000. Rob and Jim have been in contact with several foundations to solicit grant monies. They have brought this to the attention of the Board of Selectmen so that the town can start the process of what is it the town may or may not want to assist with as well. Is that pretty much it in a nutshell, Rob?
That's correct. I think the order of those projects is a little bit different. So, the first project is the regrading, the seeding, and the straw, and the actual sort of re-leveling of the ground that's been pushed. The second is the tablet stones and the foot stones across, which is obviously rehabbing those, making them legible. And the third is restoring the plot enclosures, which are areas around each plot and associated landscaping. So those are the 3, if you had to do them consequentially in order, those are the 3 stages.
Okay, thank you. So,
Norotan River.
Norotan River.
Okay.
Yeah, so Rob has just given me that the first step actually is the leveling of the grounds and the reseeding before the tablets, the headstones, and the footstones are revivified. The landscaping would include restoration of some of the plot enclosures that have been ruined by time, trees, storms, etc. So, Rob, this is great. I'm so happy to hear it, and thank you for all your hard work on this. I know this is like pulling teeth, so thank you for your work.
Sure. And for those interest, and I can circulate to the group, Jonathan Appel is known as the leader in really of a very small group of people who are capable of a project this size. He's done numerous cemeteries across the state of Connecticut, including Windsor, Enfield, the Village Cemetery in Wethersfield, Newington, Glastonbury, and a number of projects for the city of Boston. He is most renowned, however, for a project that was just recently finished in Jamestown, Virginia, at the Knight's Tomb, which received some media exposure and otherwise for the job that was well done there. So this is a trusted member. So I'd love to be able to do the project here.
So, Rob, I would ask you if you would please forward to my attention and to Jim Long's attention any blurbs that you can, so that we can start beating some drums that you may not be aware of.
Happy to.
Okay, thank you. Anything else on cemeteries?
That's it.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
yeah. I'll tell you, I walk my dog past there every day, and it just, and every time I look at it, I remember what it looked like 3 years ago and what it looks like today. It's just,
Night and day.
yeah.
But a compliment to those ladies that used to take care
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, so
Amazing.
Jim is bringing up Sharon Kells and Tracy Root, who sadly Sharon is no longer with us, and Tracy has moved to warmer climes in Florida. But thank you to Sharon and Tracy, because they really, this has been their thing. And you know, got a lot of help from the Pollitz and from the Masonic Lodge and any number of other individuals who pitched in with coin and sweat both. So yeah, a lot of people behind the scenes on that. Okay, next. Town Hall display case. Nothing from anybody yet?
I think you and I were supposed to
Yeah,
do
and
something
I
with
don't-
that.
What- I thought you were going to contact the art department at the high school, because normally they jump in April with the high school art projects.
Okay,
So if you get a hold of,
yeah. There are a couple of our, yeah. I'll
yeah,
talk to them.
that's because normally they're in there in April, so.
Sure. And does it have to be a specific slant, or is it just, I mean, does it have to have, the art have to have a specific slant?
Well,
or is it
typically what
just-
they do is they have more artwork than the display case can handle.
Oh.
They put it all along the wall. I love coming in here when
Yeah,
it's
it's
up.
nice, it is nice,
And,
yeah.
and typically what they'll do is put what they deem as the best and/or the most fragile.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because sometimes it's paintings, sometimes it's sculptures, it's all over the lot.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, but I love coming in when that artwork is up.
Sculptures would be nice for the display
They've
case,
got,
yeah.
yeah, so, yeah, I think I have a specific guy in mind, and I think that he's done this before. I think,
Yeah.
so he'll be familiar with it, so
Okay.
I'll get a hold of him
Okay.
as well, and let
If
you
you need
know.
my help, let me know.
Yeah, I'll just reach out to him and just say, hey, it's us.
All right, commission staffing. So Isabel, have you been vetted by the Board of Selectmen yet?
I need to see them at 28, I believe.
Okay, so you're scheduled then for?
Yes.
Okay, so good. All right, so Isabel Negron, who has been put forth as an official member because of snow and COVID and scheduling, et cetera, she was not interviewed by the Board of Selectmen in January, but she's on the docket now for the end of this month. So hopefully you will be an official member the next time we're meeting here as a group.
And that's the last opening.
Well, it would be, except that I received a letter of resignation from Loren Gomez as she is moving out of town. So she has notified the Democrat Town Committee that they need to get on the horse and look for another candidate. So that's where we're at with staffing. And then, do we have any new business? So do you want to give me a Carabello?
There you go.
Carabello.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn, and Ed Carabello, motion to adjourn, seconded. All in
Okay.
favor? Aye, aye, aye. All right, thank you, everybody, and we will see you in a month, and hopefully we'll see most, if not all of you at the VFW, hopefully on Tuesday.
Pending.
Okay, Jim, we're done.